If you only stay disciplined when you feel motivated, you're going to keep starting over because motivation disappears, especially on the days you actually need discipline the most. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 rules that actually help me stay disciplined when I have zero motivation. And the last one is the rule I come back to when I really don't feel like doing anything. A lot of the time, the problem isn't that we don't know what we need to do. We know. We know we need to work. We know we need to train. We know we need to study. We know we need to stop wasting time. But knowing and doing are two completely different things. One thing that helps me is making it harder for myself to avoid what I need to do. I know I need to work. I'll put my phone somewhere else. I know I need to train. I'll get my clothes ready before I even have time to think about whether I feel like going. If I need to get something done on my laptop, I'll open everything I need before I start doing anything else. The less decision you have to make, the easier it becomes to actually start. Because sometimes the biggest battle isn't doing the work, it's getting yourself to begin. And that leads into the second rule, because starting is one thing, but staying consistent is where most people struggle. I think a lot of people destroy their own discipline by trying to change their whole life overnight. You wake up one day and suddenly you want to wake up at 5 a.m, go gym 6 times a week, read every day, eat perfectly, work for 8 hours, stop using your phone, and somehow still have a social life. Then 3 days later, you're exhausted. And because you couldn't maintain everything, you feel like you failed. For me, discipline becomes easier when I stop trying to be perfect. If I can't do an hour, I'll do 20 minutes. If I don't feel like training properly, at least I get myself moving. If I don't have the energy to do everything on my list, I'll choose the one thing that actually needs to get done. At the end of the day, something is better than nothing. Because the goal isn't to have one perfect day. The goal is to be able to come back tomorrow and do it again. And this next one is probably where a lot of people get discipline completely wrong. Your feelings change constantly. You can go to sleep feeling motivated and wake up the next morning wanting absolutely nothing to do with the goals you were excited about the night before. That's normal. But if every decision you make depends on how you feel in that moment, you're going to be inconsistent. There are days where I don't feel like editing. There are days that I don't feel like working. There are days where I'd rather stay at home and do nothing. But I start asking myself a different question. Instead of, do I feel like doing this? I ask, is this something I said I wanted? Because if my answer is yes, then my mood shouldn't always get the final decision. Obviously, there are days where you genuinely need to rest. But there's a difference between needing rest and just avoiding something because it feels uncomfortable. And learning that difference is massive. But even when you understand that, there are still going to be days where your brain will find every excuse possible. That's where rule 4 comes in. It sounds basic, but I think people forget this all the time. You start something because you genuinely want it. Then a few weeks or months go by, it gets difficult. Progress feels slow, and suddenly, all you can think about is how hard it is. You forget why you even started. For me, I have things that I'm trying to build in my life. I'm working on myself, I'm trying to grow my content, I'm working towards building my academy, and none of those things are going to happen because I feel motivated for a few days. They are going to happen because I kept showing up long enough for something to actually change. So when I don't feel like doing the work, I try to remember the bigger picture, not in some dramatic way, just reminding myself, this is something you say you wanted. And if you still want it, you have to accept that some parts of getting there are going to be boring. Some days aren't going to feel inspiring. Some days are literally just going to be you sitting down and doing what needs to be done. And that brings me to the last rule. This is the one I think about the most when I really have zero motivation. I think discipline comes down to trust. Not trust in other people, trust in yourself. Every time you tell yourself you're going to do something, then you don't do it. You slowly start teaching yourself that your own words doesn't mean much. I'll start Monday, I'll wake up early tomorrow, I'll do it later, I'll start next month, and then nothing changes. But every time you tell yourself you're going to do something and you actually follow through, Even if something small, you start building that trust back. That's why I don't think discipline is about becoming some machine who never gets tired, never loses motivation. It's also about becoming someone you can rely on himself. If I say I'm going to do something, I want to at least try to do it. I'm not perfect at this. There are still days where I procrastinate. There are still days where I waste time. There are still days where I don't complete everything I said I was going to complete. But the goal isn't perfection. The goal is to stop letting one bad day become a bad week. If you mess up a day, come back tomorrow. If you lose your routine, rebuild it. If you've been lazy for the last month, that doesn't mean the next month has to look the same. You can start again at any point. At the end of the day, motivation is great when it's there. Use it, but don't depend on it. Because if you're serious about changing something in your life, there are going to be days where you don't feel inspired, you don't feel productive, and nobody's going to be there to push you. And those days matter too. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to keep finding a way to show up. Make it easier to start. Stop trying to change everything overnight. Don't let every feeling control your decision. Remember why you started, and most importantly, keep the promise you make to yourself. Because eventually, discipline stops being about forcing yourself to do things. It becomes a part of the person you're trying to become.